Hi, and welcome to BremSter Puzzles, and the final puzzle from round 4 of the 2015 World Puzzle Federation competition puzzle set. And this is a Sukaku. And this puzzle, of course, was set by Jan Murawski of Poland 10 years ago as part of that competition. Now, the entire puzzle pack was worth 600 points, and this was a 55-point puzzle. So the goal would be to solve this puzzle in under 15 minutes if you were really trying to push it. And if you, I've been told if you were trying to do this as a to practice, you'd normally be, the person who I was talking to is saying you're trying to do about 5 points a minute. So I don't know. I mean, realistically, 11 minutes is probably what you're aiming for to solve this if you're trying to do it as a competition solver. I would like to try and solve this one in under half an hour if I can. So because I've looked at the rules, and this is the sort of puzzle that normally really confuses me. So but I have been told this is probably the best puzzle in the entire set. So I'm looking forward to giving it a try. So link below to the, to this particular puzzle, as well as to every puzzle in the World Puzzle Federation's archive. So you should have fun, be able to do all of those. But over the next, I don't know, if I do 4 or 5 sets a year, man, if I did, they release 7 or 8 a year. So if I did 4 or 5 a year, I'll never catch up. If I did 1 a month, I think it would still take me like 7 years to catch up. So I have no idea how this is going to work. Let's have a look at the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply. So in every box, in every row, and in every column, the digits 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. The grid must be divided into some rectangles, with each rectangle containing exactly 1 circle, and each cell in the grid belonging to exactly 1 rectangle. So we know that every cell in the grid is going to belong to a rectangle, and every rectangle can only contain 1 circle. The digit in a circle must indicate the area of the rectangle it is part of. Digits cannot repeat within a rectangle. So for example, if this was a 3, which it can't be, so let's say this was a 2, then we could have a rectangle like this, a rectangle like this, a rectangle like this, or a rectangle like this. Let's pick something that could be different. If this was a 6, then this could be, well, it could be a rectangle like that, for example, because it couldn't be a rectangle like that because it would be containing 2 6s, but it could be a rectangle like that, or it couldn't be a it couldn't be a rectangle like that. I have no idea how this is going to work because it couldn't contain 2 circles. So maybe like that or like that would work. I don't know. I don't know how this is going to work. This is going to be really weird. I'm going to restart the puzzle to restart my timer. Let's give this a shot. Now, do I want... Oh, one thing I will point out is in the original grid, these were shaded grey squares. So all of these were just grey squares, but I expect we're going to want to shade locations in this while we're solving it, so I didn't want to hide that shading, and we've all seen circles for puzzles like this over the last few years, so I haven't changed the puzzle, I've just modernized the display of it. Anyway, now is it going to be, how can I display here? Like if I was to do this, I could do this and then maybe this, or I could do like this and then this and then this. I don't think these corners are actually telling me much. Is it the central grid? Like, how do I pick up this? One of these is going to have to pick up this central cell, which will automatically make it a straight rectangle. And whichever one picks up the central cell has to be between 2 and 5, because once it's straight, it can't be longer than 5. I don't think this is where I'm supposed to be starting. 8, 8 means that one of these two is an 8. Could this be an 8? Well, if this was an 8, how do you do an 8? It'd have to be a 2 by 4, and I couldn't do a 2 by 4 that way. I'd have 2 8s, so it'd be a 2 by 4 that way. But if this is an 8, I've got freedom. I can't put 9 in any of those. So 9 is in one of those. I couldn't put 9 here, because if I did 9 here, the only way to do a 9 circle would be that, and I'd have 2 9s. So 9 is in one of those 3. Oh, no, nines. 9 is in one of those two by Sudoku, but this 9 is looking up saying that's not a 9. This is a 9, and this is automatically because I can't overlap. So I can't go up because if I went up, how do I do this 9? If I went up, I'd have to do something like that. If I went left, I'd have to do something like this. So I can only go right and down, and that becomes the 9. I'm going to border these somehow. I'm going to use, let's use blue because I want to border these. So that becomes a 9 rectangle, and I cannot repeat any digits in it, but I need to put an 8 in it somewhere. So there's an 8 in one of those. Maybe I'm looking at these. So one of these needs to pick up this corner cell. 4 is down here. Can I do more with 9s? Because now 9 is in one of those two by Sudoku, but I can't put 9 here because if I put 9 here, I'd have to go up and right and there'd be 2 9s. So that's not a 9. This is a 9. So this is an 8. And I was just looking at that. How does this work? I can't go left. If I went up, it has to be 2 by 4. Is there any other way of doing it? No. Well, actually, there is. I could do 1 by 8. So I could do 1 by 8, 2 by 4, 3 doesn't divide, then I hit 4 by 2. I'm in the same thing. So it has to be 1 by 8 or 2 by 4. I can't do 1 by 8 vertically, and I can't do 1 by 8 horizontally because I run into another circle. So this has to be 2 by 4. I can't go left. So if I go up, it's that, and that doesn't work. So this has to be I'll use yellow again because these aren't going to run into each other. That has to be that rectangle. So this, oh no, 2 is in one of those two. Is that forced to be a 2 because I can't put 2 in any of those? No. No. 1 is up here. One of these needs to pick up the corner. What picks that? Oh, it could be that, or it could be that. That could be a 4 picking up all of those. 4 is in one of, oh, hang on. This is no, 4 is in one of those two by Sudoku. So this couldn't be a 4 picking up the corner. So this can't be picked up by this because this couldn't be bigger than 4 picking up the corner. Because if it wasn't a 4, it couldn't be a 2, and it can't be a 6 because then it would need to be a those. So this has to be picked up by that circle and those. So this can't be a 1 anymore. It has to be at least 3, but it can't be 3. And it can't go across because if it went across, it would pick up another circle. So this goes up, but it can't be 3 or 4. So it has to grow by more cells. This has to go at least this high because this has to be 5, 6. It can't be more than 6 because if it was 7, it would run into another circle. What is that now? Because this has to pick up this cell can only be picked up by this circle. It can't go around the corner. So these are part of the same thing. And these are part, actually this could be picked up by orange, but this can only be picked up by this circle. So those are part of the same thing. So this is 2, 3, or 4 because it can't be 1. It has to be 2, 3, or 4, and it can't be 3 or 4. This is a 2, and this is complete. I'm not going to do the box borders. That's a conscious choice I'm doing. So this is 2 or 4. This is complete. The only thing that can pick up this cell now is this one, and this could grow, but it's at least 3. So 3, 4, 5, or 6, because it can't be more than 6. And it can't be 6. It can't be 4. So it's only 3 or 5. So it either stops here or it continues to there. What can pick up this cell now? Only orange, and this is 6. I see what they mean. This is beautiful. This cell can only be picked up by that circle. And this has a maximum of 5 because it must be a rectangle. So this is 2, 3, 4, or 5. And it can't be 3 or 4. So it's only 2 or 5. So it either picks up all of those or stops there. Oh, this is so good. Okay, don't forget Sudoku, BremSter. Don't forget what now? I don't even know what I'm talking about. So these are 1, 2, 4, and 5. So 1, 2, 4, 5. There's no 2 there. There's no 4 there. There's no 1 there. Nine is in one of these two. No, 9 is right there. 9 is looking down, but this 9 is now looking across, making this a 9, and that's forcing this to be a 9 exactly the same way. That is now a 9, and I can border that in. How am I going to break this up? Well, I can see that 8 can't be in those or those, but I have to put all 9 digits in here because I can't repeat. So the 8s are in one of those two. But how do I break this up now? This is 6 cells, so these have to sum to 6. And they can't be 1, 5, so they have to be 2 and 4. So this is 2 and this is 4, because I can't do 3 and 3. And the 2 can't go that way because then this wouldn't be a rectangle. So this is a 2 rectangle and this is a 4 rectangle. That takes 4 out of there. This is a 2, 5 pair. That's a 4. That's a 1. What? Oh, this could be picked. What can pick up that cell? Actually, what can pick up that cell? It can't be this one because this one's already done. If it was this one, it would have to be a 9 and there'd be 2 9s. If it was this one, it would have to be an 8 and there'd be 2 8s. None of these can reach it. It has to be this one. This can't be a 2. This cell can only be picked up by the circle below it, immediately making that the 5 and that the 2, and that has to pick up all of those. Because of a little thing called Sudoku. A little thing I don't do very well. These are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 3, 8. There's no 2 there. So 2 is in one of those two. Okay. This cell, is it the same? No, because this cell could be picked up by that or that. But it has to be picked up by one of them. This cell? No, it could be picked up by that or that. Little thing called Sudoku. Crazy little thing called Sudoku. Crazy little thing called Sudoku. Crazy little thing called Sudoku. Whoa, whoa. This is a triple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. There's no 9 there, so 9 is in one of those two. Is there a digit that I can't repeat in here? These 3, 4, 5, and 6. So this is 3, 5, or 6 because it can't be 4. 4 must be down here. But there's no repeats in this that are breaking it. 7 must be in one of... Oh, no, it doesn't. 7 could be there. I'm kind of losing track of where the boxes are by doing the rectangles. But I kind of want to draw the rectangles so I know which, like this one isn't complete yet. So I want to have a marking to say that this isn't complete, whereas these ones are. How do I pick up that cell? It can only be from one of these two. If it's that, that has to be a 6 because I couldn't go across. And if it's this one, this would have to be a 6 or an 8, and it couldn't be an 8. So one of those two is a 6. Ah, 9 is looking down. That's not a 9. That's a 6-7 pair. That's a 9. 8 is in one of those. This can't be an 8, can it? No, there's no way this can be an 8. If this was an 8, I'd either have to go across for a 2x4 or I'd need a vertical or horizontal 1x8. That can't work. That's not an 8. These have to be from 357 because they have to be those digits. So these are from 357. And there's no 3 there. That's 2 of 357 in the column because these digits, which aren't in those, have to appear in these boxes. So these digits, 3579, are those. So these are 357. So those two digits are those two digits, but I'm not sure how to use that. Well, I know that that digit is, hang on, that digit there has to be that digit because it's not the 9. So this isn't a 3. And that digit has to be that digit. So that's not a 5. But I'm not sure. But it could put a 7 in one of those two. Can you ever put, yeah, you could put, well, I can't put 7 in that one. Because the only way to do a 7 is 1x7, and this would have to be 7 horizontally or vertically, and it doesn't work. Four is in one of those two by Sudoku because of the 4 looking across, and I can't put 4 in any of those. 6 in here? I don't know. What is this? I don't know. Okay, I've hit the point of the puzzle where my brain has stopped working. Okay, these are 1, 3, 5, and 7. I got really good up to here. No, sorry, I got to here really okay. And my brain has turned off. One of these is 6. If this is a 6, this could do some weird stuff. If this is a 6, this has to be a horizontal, and that would have to be a 1, 2, or 3. If this is a 6, this would have to be a 1, 2, 3, or 4. So it'd have to be a 1, 2, or 3. So it'd be a 1 or a 3. It couldn't be a 1. This would have to be a 3 and take all of those. Because it couldn't be a 1, because then this cell would be left behind. It can't be a 2 or a 4. So it'd have to be a 3, picking up all of those. Yeah, okay. So what is it I'm missing? There's no 3 here. That's what I'm missing. This is a 5, 6, 7. This is a 3. So this is a 3. Which means this isn't a 3. Could be picked up by that. If this was a 5. Otherwise, this could be a 2, a 4, or a 6. Well, it can't be a 2. It'd be a 4 or a 6 if it's picking up that, but it doesn't have to. This is only a 3 or a 5, so it can't go any further than this. So what about that cell? Mm, 8 is not in those or those. 8 is in one of those. No, 8 is in one of those two. I can't put 8 in any of those. 8 is in one of those two. This isn't an 8. This is a 2 or a 3. Don't like pencil marking across, but that is true. Three's not in any of those. 3's not in any of those. 3 is in one of those two. So that is a 5. Because I can't put 3 in this box in any of those since I got that. 3 is in one of those two. That's a 5. And this grows to there, boxing this in. So what can get that cell? Maybe that. But this would then have to be a 5. What can that be? It can't be 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 5, 6, 7. Now, it can't be a 7 because it can't be a 7 by 1. And if it was a 5, it's all of those. And if it's a 6, it's either those or those. But it is a 5 or a 6. So this column, which is missing 4, no, that's not a 4 anymore. That's a 4. So these are 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now this can't be a 5. This can't be a 5. Oh, that's a 7. Because that's a 5. Sorry, it's really easy to miss with the stuff. That was dumb of me. So this now has to be a 7 because this is 379. So this is 379. There is no 7 in either of those. The 6-8 pair makes that a 5. And the only way I can do 5 is 5 by 1. And those all become the same. So now this at the top has to be 1. And this becomes a 4. This is really clever. I don't think I'm doing great, but it's very clever. Now, this can't be horizontal. Because if it was horizontal, it'd be 5. So it has to pick up something. So what can it be? It's 2, 4, 6, or 8. And it can't be 8 because if it was 8, it'd have 2 9s in it. So this is 2, 4, or 6. It can't be 4. So it's 2 or 6. And it can't be 2. This is 6 because of the 2 here. This is 6. And the only way it can pick up 6 is with all of those. So we have played pick up 6. That makes this the 8. Which makes this the 6, this the 5, this is the 6, and this is the 7. This has been 5 for ages. I'm missing basic Sudoku because the boxes are broken in my brain. This is 3, 4, and 6. These are 1 and 8, and I can't put 8 there. This is the 1, this is the 8. This column is missing its 2. So these are 1 and 7. And I can't put 7 repeated in this box. That's the 1, that's the 7. This is a triple, which is 1, 2, 6. There's no 2 there. So the 2 is in one of those two, which means that is the 8 because I can't repeat digits in yellow here. This is the 3. So this isn't a 3. This is a pair in the row. 4, 7. The 4 is looking up, making that the 7 and that the 4. So this is 1, 2, or 6. And it can't be 2 because the 2 has to be in here. Wait, I'm broken. I am broken, I am broken, I am broken. I think I'm okay here. I just put this in assuming that this couldn't be the 6. This is the 1, 2. This is the 6. And now I need to see what digit is missing. 1, 2, 3. This is the 4, meaning this isn't the 4. I think I'm still okay. I hope I'm still okay. Please let me still be okay. Because this is too good for me to mess up. This is not the 4. My testers told me this was a really good puzzle. They were right. The 3, 6 makes this the 4. 4, 4, 4, we're good. This is so clever. The 2 is looking up, making this the 1 and this the 2. I haven't figured this out yet. Yes, I have. That's not the 6. That's the 6. So now it's the only thing that can pick that up. I looked at that earlier. So let's make that orange. So I've got to figure out how to break this down. But let's do more Sudoku. The 6 looks down, making that the 3 and that the 6. This column, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is a 2. This column, 1, 2 is missing its 3. So these are 1, 5, and 7. There's no 7 there. There's no 1 there. There's no 5 there. So this is a 1, 7 pair. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3 and 8 go into there, but there's an 8 looking down. So this is 3 and this is 8. I need to put a 3 size, which needs to be either vertical or horizontal. And I can't do vertical there. So that becomes the 3. So I don't overlap with another circle. The only thing that can pick up this now is that. So that has to be there, but that can't be a 3. In fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, and this can't be larger than 5. So that's the 5, that's the 7, that's the 9. This picks up all of those, drawing the border there, and that leaves this final one. Let's use orange again. Orange is my favorite color, so I use it as often as I can. That's not what I'm doing here. But this is now a 2. This isn't an 8. The 7 makes this the 1 and this the 5. The 1 looks across, making this the 7. This box, which I know is almost impossible to see, is missing its 1. The 7 is looking up, making that the 1. This triple, or this box, is missing its 3 and its 7. And the 7 is looking up, making that the 3. And that the 7, and the top left digit is the one I haven't placed, which seems to be an 8, and that is the correct solution. 25 minutes. What was I aiming for? I think I said I was aiming for 20 to 30, so I'm pretty happy with that, particularly considering it was constructing boxes and everything. Now, if you were having trouble tracking the 3x3 boxes, yep, absolutely, but that was another amazing puzzle. The variants in this month's pack were absolutely stunning. Like off the chart amazing. And it was last month where I turned around and said, I can't pick one of the variants. I really can't. So I ended up doing the whole pack. It's very tempting to just dump the classics and do the variants, but I'm going to try and persist with doing the classics until I just can't face it anymore. I don't know how long that'll take. And I will get help from other people if I need to, because I do want to try and present everything that I can. There are other channels that do a much better job of explaining classic Sudokus that I do. I'd like to call out Smart Hobbies. Go check them out. But yeah, I did a terrible thing here by making this green. I didn't realize it was going to go that high. So let's make that red. And now I think we don't have any colors touching each other. That was great. That was just great. Yeah, I agree. That was the best puzzle in the set. Thank you to my testers. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed round 4 from 2015 of the World Puzzle Federation. Yeah, I'm recording these well in advance so I can drop them at a time that's appropriate. It'll probably be a couple of weeks before I release them, but it's nice to have them sitting there and being ready for when it's all good. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you're enjoying everything, and as always, good luck with your solving.